Um, we started in January of 2014, and I had seen Andrea. Andrea was our longtime friend, like in each other's weddings, at each other's, baby's birth. But she kind of felt like a kid sister to me. She's a couple years younger and married one of our good guy friends. Anyway, she was posting about Plexus, but she had done a different network marketing company like a couple years before. And I knew that she had run up so much debt, like ordering inventory, and she had all this inventory in her house, and she was like throwing parties. And she didn't tell her husband that she had this credit card full of like, product inventory debt. And she had a brand new Forerunner, and he made her sell it to pay off that credit card. And so when she started posting about Plexus, I was like, oh my word, bless her heart. And I texted her and was like, does Joe know that you're doing this? And she was like, oh, yes, it's not the same thing. She was telling us about Ella, her daughter. And she just told me like, these are just health products. Well, she was never my healthy friend. Like that was not her. So I was like, it's weight loss. You're drinking some kind of crappy energy drink. And so we went back and forth for a couple months, because I think she joined in November. I finally, I kept ghosting her. And then finally I told Russ, like, I kind of want to try this. It's going to be like $130. And he just said, that's fine if you want to do it, but we don't really have $130 in our budget. So you better figure out a way to cover it. Cause he knew it was network marketing, and I had never done any network marketing. And I was really prideful. I looked down on people that did stuff like that. And I really looked down on people who talked about it on social media, because nobody was doing that back then. I mean, it was like kind of the, Facebook, people weren't selling stuff. And if they were, you were like, so I think I asked my mom like to pray. Like I was like, hey, will you pray about this and see if you think I should do this? In the back of my mind was already thinking like, I know a lot of people, and I had a counseling practice in Dallas. We both worked full time. I think at that time, our older kids were like in kindergarten and maybe 2 years old. And we were really busy. We had debt. We had graduate school debt. We had credit card debt. We had been talking a lot about like ways that we thought we could bring in extra income. We lived in a really expensive part of Dallas, where it just felt, I mean, honestly, it felt like everybody had money but us. And we just ran ourselves ragged, little kids working full time. So when Russ was like, you need to figure out how to cover these products, I just knew in the back of my head, okay, well, if I have to sell, I can just basically talk to people offline. Because I told Andrea, do not ever tag me in anything. I'm never going to sell this publicly. I have a counseling practice. That's my brand. Don't tag me. I don't want anyone in my practice to think I'm associated with like weight loss. And but I started taking the products, and I just felt like within 2 weeks, I was like, I feel better. And after a month, Russ was like, he was trying to be so diplomatic. He was like, you're just a lot less edgy and irritable. And I was like, what do you mean? Are you trying to say that I was being bitchy before, And he was just like, honestly, you're a lot less edgy. And I really legitimately had an anxiety disorder, and I was a therapist, so I knew it. And I wasn't medicated. I just tried to like white knuckle through it. But when it would really, like when my anxiety disorder kicked in was in the middle of the night. If I woke up with a severe racing heart rate and just thoughts that I couldn't stop. And it was just severe nighttime anxiety. I think it was totally connected back to like postpartum with my babies. And I just started to sleep all through the night, like really deeply, and wake up and I just felt calm. So I started researching, the gut and the brain, and I still didn't want to talk about it. But I think my first ambassador was a friend in our church Bible study that we had been friends with for a long time. And she and I had been texting back and forth and making fun of Plexus. No lie. Like we were like, oh, does it cure everything? And every time Andrea would post, we'd be like, and so then when I said, hey, I think I'm going to try it, she was like, okay, I'll try it too. So she was my first. I think my mom was my second, because my mom prayed about it and she was like, if you do it, I'll do it. And I think Russ was my third person. Like I think I went silver because Russ had started taking my pink drink, And I was like, you better get your own. And so I think we both pretty quickly thought, hey, maybe this could just be enough money to cover our products. And what were you thinking at that point?
It's kind of crazy. It's 9 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's kind of weird to kind of take your mind back to that. But when she first started this, the phase of life that we were in, we were keeping up with the Joneses. We were, I was a practicing attorney, she was a practicing therapist. Our lives were kind of built around the hourlies. We gauged it by how much time we were spending. If she worked more, if she saw more clients, she got paid more. And as an attorney, I kind of got that. I mean, that's how we make money. But one thing I was consistently hearing from her before Plexus is just her utter depression about not being able to be home with the kids, not seeing our kids, grow up, because we had a nanny. Thankfully, she was cheap, but she was, helping take care of our kids. She was raising our kids for the most part during the day, and it was sad. It was depressing. I wasn't raised that way. I had my mom at home, and I think Becky did too. And so I would hear her complaints about not seeing the kids. And of course, that registered for me as a husband. I'm like, well, I'm not providing enough. So she feels the freedom to stay at home more. And, that just hits on a guy level, in a way that I didn't kind of see coming. So whenever this crazy, stupid opportunity came up, I didn't believe into it. I was prideful enough to say, I wasn't on social media, so I didn't see all the stuff that was going on, all the things that were being posted. So the thought of her posting didn't really register for me because I didn't see it. But being a part of an MLM, had reservations for sure. But then I saw the physical benefits as she was talking about. But then I slowly started seeing these checks coming in. And they were, 25, 50, 75, 200. And it was, in the beginning, I was like, man, you covered your product. Well done. Second month, 50, 250, 300. I'm like, well, that's cute. I mean, that'll help with the car payment. And then by the third month, it was 1,500. Fourth month, it was, 2,500. And at that point, my antennas were up, and I started looking into the business really hard. I started looking at the numbers really hard and trying to understand the business in a way that may not be in her wheelhouse. And so
it's not at all. I am not a numbers person at all.
And that was fine because I just dove into it. And that's not to say that, if you're not a numbers person, that you have to become one. It was just kind of the way I kind of calmed my concerns down, is by understanding all the nuts and bolts of it. And so the way that I could see myself, because she was dedicating so much time to it, the way I could see myself being involved was like, okay, I can encourage her, and I can learn enough about the products that we can share conversations. And, if people ask, I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be an expert. So I would, give my 2 cents and then let Becky, educate the rest. But when it came to business, when it came to strategy, I, for whatever reason, loved it. I love talking about it. I love thinking about it, and running numbers, projecting, and it just kind of became easy. And so the biggest thing I did for her, though, and I think she's told me in the years since, was that I just simply saw the vision. I saw what was possible, because we went to I saw the numbers before this happened. We went to a meeting where there were 3 girls up on stage, and they happened to be Celeste, Jen Hawkins, and
Suzanne Clinton.
Now they're all multimillionaires, but they were on stage, and they're talking about their times in college and how they knew each other, and the sorority life, or what you just, the typical stuff. And I looked up there, and every single one of those girls looked exactly like Becky. They talked exactly like Becky, like all of y'all. They just were no different than any of us. And I just kind of, in my mind, just said, if they can do it, she can do it. She has a social media presence. She enjoys it. She enjoys people. I'm an introvert. She's an extrovert. Thank God. And I saw it. And so once I could speak into it, and once I could encourage her, that gave her the freedom to kind of take off. Because if I would have, in the beginning, I think if I would have kind of taken every chance I could get to bash it, or
be critical
or low key just down it, she would have quit after 4 months
for sure.
Even after gold, she would have quit, because she was on the cusp at gold. to say,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know if I'm in
nervous.
this.
I was nervous and I didn't want to try and be bad at it. Like I didn't want to be rejected. I was really afraid of that. And I also was just not quite sure. And y'all know, like we had gone to a meeting that some of these diamonds hosted. And that was so helpful, but we had not gone, like we weren't earning cruises like y'all did. That would have been a total game changer for us at that point. But we came home from that meeting and Russ was like, you'll be a diamond. And when he said that, I was like, I don't know that. It just felt like way too much pressure, and it was all my mindset crud. But he was the one, like, and to this day, and I check my virtual office a lot, but he'll be like, hey, Corey just signed one. Hey, Ashley just signed somebody. Hey,
there's a little more energy behind it.
He like sees it even before I do because he's checking. And I almost think it's because we know with every new sign, it's like, I'll just say it. It's almost like playing the lottery. It's like cha-ching, cha-ching, like that it's building the growth of your company, of your organization. So I want to talk, I want to be mindful of time, but I want to talk really quickly about affiliate marketing, direct sales, and network marketing so that you kind of understand. Y'all see affiliate marketing all the time. Like you probably even have friends that will promote something random, right? Like they'll promote even some company in town because the company has asked them, hey, will you share this? And so people will use their social media to share something, some kind of brand that they don't have a full contract with, but they basically will get residuals from sharing something. It's the whole idea of influencers. The stuff that they're sharing online on their social platforms isn't necessarily a company that they're aligned with. It's a company that will pay them to promote it. And we see Amazon affiliate people all the time, people that promote like a wide range, a company that sells a ton of different products. Everybody in our circles is they've been normalized to affiliate marketing. Like, hey, use my brand, use my code at checkout, whatever. And they're getting like little bits of income. They're getting a small commission. But that's normalized. And then you've got direct sales, which I think y'all also are, experience a lot of people who do direct sales. This is where I'm going after customers. And a lot of times these companies will be like, hey, I'm getting ready to place a bulk order. Make sure you place your order with me. And then they order for you and you like pay them maybe directly, or maybe you Venmo them, or maybe they even use your credit card, but then they're delivering it to you at like, they're getting paid on a large volume for customers. Let me say this. Plexus does all that, right? Like we get paid for customers. I want to have customers. Customers are always going to be the heartbeat of our company. But then there's network marketing. And this is the difference. Like even companies like Beauty Counter, they're direct sales, right? They're no longer really rewarding their distributors or their affiliates for building a team, like an actual network, a large organization. Plexus is true network marketing. We do direct sales because we reward customer and we reward volume. But if you want to maximize the money you're going to make, you need to think about like building team leaders who build team leaders who build team leaders, right? It's great to go get customers. Please continue to do so. Happy, loyal customers should become your team leaders. And you should go like truly, especially as couples, you should go after other families that want residual income. And you should you've got to believe in the power of building a business so that you can recruit and develop people who believe in building a business. Because, I get paid on Russ's customers. I get paid on Ashley's customers. I get paid because Ashley gets paid on Jody's customers, who gets paid on Corey, and I get paid on all those people. That's the idea of true network marketing, is that you're building a team of leaders.
Well, and that's what made the most sense to me whenever I looked at the business model, because when I looked at her business as a counselor, she had interns under her that were working and she was overseeing and dedicating a whole lot of time to coaching and overseeing. And she would get a fraction of what they were taking in for clients. And in the legal realm, partners make a certain amount of money under the associates that work for them, but you're still dedicating a whole lot of time to the management of every single action that they go through. And whenever I saw this model, I mean, you get paid 7 levels deep, and you basically, you do what you kind of enjoy doing. You get to encourage people, you get to show people a business that they can help them make money as a passive income that most of us didn't even know about. And so it's not, I didn't see that. I see the time in terms of burn rate. I didn't see the burn rate like we were living. She wasn't going to have to dedicate massive amounts of time. I wasn't going to have to dedicate massive amounts of time. Instead, I mean, we could encourage others like we are tonight, or other, individually, whatnot, and there would be dividends. I mean, you could help grow people, and you could see them thrive and have that joy. And that's kind of one of those surprises I didn't foresee coming. But yeah, it's a great model.
And really, one of the last things I wanted to say before we open it up for questions, if y'all have some, or even like talking through tips and techniques, is y'all, we are truly headed into a recession. And I know y'all know, I mean, I know we look at budgets. First of all, we just look at like interest rates are insane. Gas, what you're paying for groceries, what you're paying for travel. Everything has just gotten so exponentially expensive in the last almost 4 years. And we can talk about why or why not, but I will tell you for sure, network marketing companies are recession proof. I don't know why fully. We've talked with the owner of our company, Tara Robinson, about this, but historically, network marketing companies do really well in a recession. And I think part of it is because in a recession, people want to be in control of their income. They don't want to necessarily be at the hands of someone else. And even as a business owner, like I've owned a brick and mortar, it was the golden handcuffs, because any problems going on for the company, they were my problems. And so it was freedom, but at the same time, it was the golden handcuff responsibility of, if something went wrong, even in our building, it was on me to pay for that and to be on top of that. And also, if for some reason the government were to shut me down for a while, like I don't truly have the freedom, but when I have a home-based business that thrives in a recession, that's true freedom. So you saw so many people build their businesses in 2020. And that's good news for all of you, because no matter what's going on in, your current means of earning an income, you've got a steady stream. It's up to you to grow it, but you can control it in an avenue like Plexus. So I just wanted to give you guys the encouragement that even as you see the cost of inflation and you see us moving into a recession, like, do not be discouraged about your Plexus business. It can grow and thrive. It's really recession proof. And there's so many stories that we could share with y'all about that. But do you guys have questions for us?